Hi everyone and welcome to the Eshan and Tanya Show episode 3.
India's first traveling podcast.
And currently we are freezing our faces and butts off because if you're watching us on video, you'll be able to tell we are sitting in a snowed out place. Kafi thand hai and Eshan is freezing way more than I am.
Yes, I'm not good with cold. We are in Norway actually, which is we've skipped a lot of countries in the middle and we're shooting the third episode here.
Yeah, koi baat nahi, we'll backtrack everything and give you all the good stories. And also, yes, for everybody who's eagerly waiting for the proposal story, yes, this is the episode in which we are going to talk about it. But we'll talk about it towards the very end of it.
Anyways, starting off with where we left off, which was Finland.
Yes.
Kakslautinen, Finland.
Yes.
Which area? मैं भूल गया जगह क्या थी?
It was close to Sariselka village.
In Lapland.
In Lapland, yes. So it was in the Finnish Lapland region, inside the Arctic Circle.
But we remained in the Arctic Circle even after that, right?
Yeah, so from over there, from Kakslautinen, we checked out from over there. Then we left for Rovaniemi. And Rovaniemi is also a very prominent destination inside the Arctic in Finland. And we spent good, I think 4 nights over there. So one day तो हमारा पूरा journey में निकल गया because we took a bus from Kakslautinen all the way to Rovaniemi. So I think हम लोग निकले थे आफ्टरनून में कुछ 1-2 बजे and वहाँ से फिर पहुँचते 6-7 बज गए. So that night we just spent at an Airbnb and the next day also we spent at an Airbnb just resting it out basically.
So that Airbnb was in a very interesting location. For everybody wondering how much it cost and all of that, we'll do a detailed episode, which is the next episode.
Yes.
Where we'll cover all the costs of the Airbnbs and travel.
Everything like cab, Airbnbs, flights, सब चीज़ का हम लोग break down करने की कोशिश करेंगे in the next episode.
Even in whatever, मतलब खाने पीने का भी जो हो सके वो बता देंगे हम.
Yes.
And in this Airbnb that we were staying in this area, apparently there's very low crime rate. So the Airbnb did not have a key to enter. And the owner just DM'd us on booking.com, I think, कि आप ऐसे ही आ जाओ. चाबी अभी की ज़रूरत नहीं है, आपको चाबी चाहिए तो यहाँ रखी है.
बट ज़रूरत नहीं है वैसे, हमारा घर पूरा टाइम खुला ही रहता है तो आप बस गराज के इस डोर से अंदर आ जाओ. एंड वी वर सो शॉक्ड एंड सरप्राइज्ड कि इज दिस फॉर रियल? Are we not supposed to lock the place? How will we sleep at night without a chabi?
Yes, that was a legitimate concern on my end. However, the house was pretty nice. घर भी काफ़ी बड़ा था उनके लिए. The person who owned the Airbnb also lived in the same Airbnb, so we shared the house with her. We never got to meet her, however. She was there in the house. We just didn't see her. It was like living with a ghost. But we used her kitchen. We cooked a lot of food in her kitchen the 2 days that we were there, and I think the first night itself, one fateful night, we stepped out for grocery shopping, and just while we were grocery shopping, we saw the northern lights.
Yeah, it was so surreal कि हम लोग बस घर से casually बाहर निकले और हमने मैप पे चेक किया कि grocery store is barely 3-4 minutes away. So we were walking it out and walking करते करते हम लोग आसमान की तरफ देख रहे थे and we were like अरे.
No, I think there was a false alarm also first. First, we saw an experiment apparently being conducted by the Swedish government on the northern lights and how they react to certain gases.
Gases, yes.
We have photos and videos, hopefully. Yeah, we do. And ऐसे फुग्गे जैसे फट रहे थे and they were multiple colors.
Yeah.
And side में we could see the northern lights, which was surreal because there was a lot of light pollution wherever you were because you were in a city and we still could see the northern lights quite clearly.
It was so massive and bright. It was amazing. I think हमने grocery shopping अपनी काफ़ी टाइम से delay कर दी और हम लोग बैठ खड़े होकर वहाँ देख ही रहे थे कि is this for real? Is this really what it's like living in the Arctic where you just casually go grocery shopping and you end up seeing the northern lights?
That's true. I mean, that's pretty normal for Finnish people, I believe. I guess.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. No, actually this one person did care and he or she was clicking photos of whatever that was happening. But I think he was intrigued more with the science experiment going on than the northern lights. Nonetheless, one more important note for everybody who is going to stay at Airbnb. Great way to save a lot of money on cooking, basically food. Because food over here is extremely expensive. Stupid expensive.
I have a comparison actually on that note. हमने अभी just 2 days back only After Finland, we went to London. From there, we went to US. From there, we came to Sweden. 1 day in Sweden we spent, and we ate a meal over there in a restaurant, and it cost us 4,000 rupees for that one dinner.
Yes, and it was, I remember the dinner also. It was paneer butter masala, it was keema naan, garlic naan.
And that's it.
That's it.
3 items, and उसमें से 2 तो नान ही थे, and that cost us 4,000 rupees.
Yes.
And the next day we did some groceries for the next couple days, and we did groceries for probably 3 days, and us grocery ka bhi amount was 3,000 rupees, which is less than one restaurant meal.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about expenses like we said in the next episode.
In the next episode, yes.
The most important feature, experience is from Rovaniemi, right? We were in Rovaniemi?
Yeah, we were in Rovaniemi.
Yeah, Rovaniemi. And this is something that I'd like to speak for because I made a really fun reel about it, which was the Polar Explorer. It is essentially what the Titanic was, but uska completely ulta. Titanic sunk after hitting the iceberg. This ship apparently breaks the ice and moves forward. So this experience is one of a kind in itself. Like, pehle you're standing on the deck for like first 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you see the ice break. And then after that, you can go take a dip in the icy
water.
cold Arctic water. Arctic water, yeah. Which sea was it that we're staying in?
Bothnian Sea.
Bothnian Sea.
Yeah.
And this experience starts with you being in Finland first, and Finland se tum Sweden jate ho.
There's a bus which basically picks you up and it takes you across the border. So Finland ka Lapland shares its western border with Sweden. And unhi ke beech mein there's the Bothnian Sea. So just to give you a geographical idea also. And we cross the border and we also change our time zone. 1 घंटा हमारा time zone change हो जाता है.
1 hour forward, and when you're coming back 1 hour reverse करना पड़ता है.
So it's literally like time traveling in that one bus journey. And
without
once you
passport, visa, nothing.
कुछ भी हमारा passport तक check नहीं हुआ ये border crossing में. And once you do that, you basically reach a port in
Sweden, and you're on the deck. Beach mein you can go in the cafeteria if you want to warm up, and then from the cafeteria you can go for the dip, whichever your time slot is. You're given a time slot, and you're made to wear these ridiculous looking suits which make you look like a Teletubby.
Yeah.
And then you have to step in the cold icy water. And that is one of a kind experience, because जब ठंडा पानी ऐसे मुंह पे लगता है ना, I think तान्या पे मेरे पे थोड़ा गिरा. I think तान्या के was your
yeah, my face got submerged a couple times while swimming, so it was pretty cold.
Pretty darn cold.
Yeah, so our bodies are fully covered in this experience because the survival suits are pretty nice that way. तो हमें पूरी तरह से cover करते हैं. And they're also floating suits, so you don't even sink in the water. And it basically is very warm and cozy inside. Just your face is cold.
Yes, we'll try to link the मतलब कहाँ से book हो सकता है वो experience down in the description box below, so you guys can have a look. Slightly expensive end पे है ये experience. Extremely expensive मैं तो बोलूँगा.
Yeah.
But I feel it's a memorable experience because the visuals that we saw. मतलब landscape ही पूरा icy है, and then आप ship पे हो and टूटी हुई ice है. You get to also walk on ice, dance on ice, do whatever you want on ice.
Yeah. For
small period of time, and you get these good photos that they click for you, and they send you off back, and they feed you also really nicely. मतलब वहाँ पे ऐसे गर्म juice मिलते हैं.
बीच में juice भी, और cafeteria से you can also get the juice. You can also get the juice from the deck, the warm juice, and they also give you lunch in between. So that is also there.
On the way to the ship, they give you lunch.
Yeah.
And then second experience, I think, would be our favorite experience.
I think it was
especially
so nice.
Tanya's experience, because she was very emotional by the end of it.
Yeah. So we went for a hike to Korouma Canyon. Korouma Canyon is a very nice place in thoda sa eastern side of Rovaniemi. And it's a 30-kilometer stretch of this क्या बोलते हैं उसे canyon, जिसमें बहुत सारे frozen waterfalls हैं. So you basically go there and hike there to see all these frozen waterfalls, which are obviously spectacular looking. There are 3 very massive waterfalls over there जहाँ पे लोग ice climbing के लिए भी आते हैं. Maybe in another trip we might want to try ice climbing also, although it's a very risky sport.
Not me.
I would want to try it for sure.
Yeah.
But this one was just a hike, and the reason why it was so good was because our hike, the person who was with us, our tour guide, was amazing. She was so nice. I mean, very sweet, she had a mom energy about her.
Yeah, truly. I feel the experience was great. because of her.
Yes, and goes to say कि फिनलैंड के लोग तो अच्छे हैं ही, but she was extra sweet and very very good at her job also, because she gave us an awesome experience, gave us some really good details of the place, and overall just talking to her was so fun. We were just having a great time, and Nishan also tried some wood cutting and fire making with her.
Yeah, so we reached the campfire spot, and obviously campfire के लिए थोड़ी wood चाहिए होती है, तो she asked everybody who wants to come, and I volunteered, and then we went, and वहाँ पे थोड़ा chopping किया, तो मज़ा आया actually, because I was able to do it, and it's not that hard, to be honest, but yeah, I did a good job, and she was very happy, so it was great overall
wood
experience.
chopping na hard hoti hai. I've also tried it, and doing it in the first go, I think it is quite impressive. She also complimented you.
Yeah, that's great, but I saw the video. If you see the videos, it feels like I'm doing nothing. Matlab, the axe is doing everything. So I was just probably aiming it correctly, and that's how it.
Yeah.
And then, but the fun part was, which I was not able to do, which is the fire. Did you try? I think you also tried. No?
I tried. वो दोनों से किसी से भी नहीं हुआ. हमारे ग्रुप में I think 6-5 लोग थे. हम में से किसी से भी वो फ्लिंट स्टोन से नहीं जल पाई आग. सब लोग ट्राई कर रहे थे, छिक कर रहे थे उसके ऊपर एक वुड के पीस पे.
But then she made sure that we saw that it could actually happen, and she did it and showed it to us. It was very nice of her. One more important thing, interesting thing that we saw was this: the trees over there are pretty unique.
Yeah.
So yes. During what time of the year is it?
The summertime. So basically यहाँ पे summer time में you may know already, or if you don't, I'll tell you about it. So there's this midnight sun which you get to experience over here. तो यहाँ पे sunlight 24 hours के लिए होती है in the summer. So in the winter the opposite of that happens. The sun does not come out of the horizon at all, because we are at practically the North Pole, very close to the North Pole here. तो sun आता ही नहीं है winter में in the months of December and all. But in the summer the opposite of that happens. 24 hours के लिए sunlight रहती है. And because of that, the sun just revolves in a circle on top of the sky only. And because of that, the trees in that area, especially the dried pine trees, they're already dry. तो ऊपर से sun के 24 hours ऐसे गोल गोल घूमने की वजह से the trees become, उनकी जो grooves होती है वो ऐसे spiral सी बन जाती हैं.
Because they are trying to like
align with the sun.
Align with the sun, so you get ऐसे करके ऐसे तो नहीं बोलूँगा मैं, but ऐसे.
They were going twisting basically, the grooves of the tree. They
twisting
twist.
would be not like a spring, but close, similar.
Maybe like a जो वो होता है हमारा DNA का structure होता है वैसे, तो उसकी grooves पेड़ की वैसी दिखती हैं थोड़ी. And because of that, these kind of woods are very very strong and solid, and they don't even fall on the ground after drying, because एयर में मॉइस्चर है ही नहीं है, and कुछ ऐसी हवा मतलब से वो गिरते भी नहीं है. So
yeah, you have to cut them down.
And these kind of wood is very very valuable also, because it is only found in this Lapland region, and because of that जो भी construction इस wood से होती है वो बहुत ही expensive होती है, but also very coveted. So people of this area, it's called kilo wood.
किलो या केलो, क्योंकि आई थिंक अपने कैक्सलाउटन में रूम का भी नाम वही था.
केलो, they were made of केलो wood only.
हाँ, they were made of केलो wood. So the room that we were staying in first in our wherever we were was made of this wood, and we didn't know why is it called केलो. One more interesting type of tree that we saw, and we're sharing all of this because it's just interesting information, but this one you can partake also. This particular tree, मैं उसका नाम भूल गया, and it sort of looks like it has a pregnant.
Birch tree कैसे ऊपर से बाहर.
हाँ, it has a pregnant belly. Apparently, it just looks like that. And the Sami people basically used to make utensils out of this, essentially a cup.
Kuksa cup बोलते हैं जिसको.
It's called the Kuksa cup, and these cups are used to drink or just one beverage. You can keep stuff in it, but if you have a Kuksa cup for the entirety of its duration, which will be a long duration, because they don't go bad unless you don't use it correctly, you are supposed to drink just one beverage out of it. If it is water, you'll always drink water. If it is coffee, it's always coffee.
Yeah.
If it's an alcoholic beverage, it has to be the same alcoholic beverage. So I got very fascinated by it, and I was like, we must buy 2
Kuksa
before
cups.
we leave, and we told our guide also.
But the reason why you can only have one beverage out of these cups is because it absorbs. It's natural wood after all. So if it's
Yes,
not
yes,
processed,
I
it
was coming to
basically
it.
absorbs the beverage. And because of that, if you drink coffee out of it तो उसके बाद beer पियोगे तो beer में coffee का taste आएगा.
Similarly, it also applies on water. So if you drink water also out of this cup, if you drink coffee or if you drink something else, उसमें थोड़ा ऐसे water का taste आने लगेगा. Apparently that's what our guide told us. So I told our guide कि please help us buy authentic Kuksa cups before we leave, and she was keen कि हाँ, sure, I have it, you also have it, you can get it engraved also if you want to. We were like, yeah, sure. So we went to this place which was essentially a gift shop, and it was run by somebody who's partly a Sami, right? Yeah. And she had these handmade souvenirs which were ready to sell, which were essentially just like different sorts of items made from apparently that bark, which looked like a pregnant lady's belly. So वहाँ पे गए and we were like हाँ चलो लेते हैं. And बिल कितने के होंगे ये cups?
ओहो यार, हमने एकदम authentic original Kuksa cups खरीदे. And because handmade products are more expensive here in Europe in general, and so one cup was for 42 euros.
One cup was not for 42 euros. I think total bill was 62.
No, total bill was 142.
142.
That was the most expensive bill हमने जो अभी तक पे किया है.
142 है ना, तो I think तो I remember it was 60 euros a cup, and we bought a small cup also. So total I think उतना हो गया था 140
हो गया था.
But yeah, extremely expensive. And I'd be honest with you guys, we tried coffee the very next day in those cups, and it did not taste as great.
उसमें से birch wood का taste आ रहा था, मतलब basically. And I think just because you were having something for the first time out of those cups, so it was very fresh. So we could taste that woody, बहुत ही prominent taste आ रहा था उसमें.
So I think that was Finland in a nutshell.
Yes.
Yeah, these are the two highlights that we had, and the nice people that we met. Finnish people are one of the nicest people you meet.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about Finland? The culture, anything? कुछ one thing that you think you will.
Northern Lights.
Okay. मेरे लिए पता है क्या था?
क्या?
Drinking water.
Drinking water, oh yeah.
I am in love with the drinking water of Finland because it was so delicious. मतलब tap water is so delicious. यहाँ पे by the way पैसे बचाने का एक और बहुत अच्छा हैक है कि आपको पानी की bottled water बिल्कुल खरीदने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Get your own water bottles. We both are carrying 1 liter की बड़ी bottles each, and we keep filling it and drinking out of there. And that applies for all Scandinavian countries. But in between we also went to Sweden. और मुझे Sweden के भी पानी में difference पता चला because I think Finnish pani was just so delicious. Also in the airport it was written somewhere where there were taps for refilling water that Finland's water is one of the purest because it's coming from a very good clean source. सीधा बर्फ से ही आता है ना पानी सारा, तो it's very delicious. In fact, I think if I ever go to any other place, come back to India also, I'll have dreams about the drinking water. It's just so delicious.
I think it's fantasizing the water a lot, romanticizing the water a lot. It just tasted like water to me, guys. It was nothing special.
मुझे difference पता चला. Okay. I mean, especially once we went from...
Water connoisseur in the house, guys.
Once we went from Finland to London, that one day we spent there for taking a flight. मैंने जैसे ही पहला सिप पानी का पिया, I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
This is so not nice.
I didn't care. We didn't tell people where we are and what is this.
Yeah, why are we sitting in snow? Basically, we are doing a camper van trip in Norway. It's like a dream come true sort of for me especially. मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था I'll get to do this because this has always been one of those things that I want to check off from my bucket list and probably continue doing in some more locations, more places. But we are currently sitting right next to our camper van. That is where the camera is currently kept. And yesterday we drove this camper van for the first time. And I drove such a big vehicle for the first time ever in my life. And I was in literal tears. ऐसे आंसू आ रहे थे मुझे कि I'm driving a camper van. Oh my god.
Yeah. Very emotional. I thought गाड़ी चलाते इतनी emotional क्यों हो रही है?
रो क्यों रही है? Like I was literally howling. Like, oh my god, this is...
Speaking of howling, let's switch to what everybody is here for, which is the proposal story. Happened on the first night itself that we were in Finland.
Not the first night.
It was first official night of our trip.
First official adventure that we went out on.
Yeah. So we landed it. Where did we land?
Helsinki.
Helsinki से हम next day गए या उसी दिन गए?
Next day we went to Ivalo. उसके भी next day पे we went to the snowmobile adventure.
अच्छा, okay. So on that day.
हाँ.
So 3 days into the trip.
Yeah, which I was least expecting. मैंने सोचा, मेरे को पता था कभी ना कभी तो होगा ही.
हाँ.
But मैंने सोचा था शायद maybe towards the end of the trip he'll propose or something. I wasn't expecting, and I don't even think तूने प्लान किया था कि उसी रात को करना है?
No. प्लान तो था कि फिनलैंड में ही होगा and Northern Lights कहीं अंडर होगा, because I thought कि what better way to propose to a travel creator than under the Northern Lights. Essentially, I had also thought about doing it with family and friends around and camera and all of that. And because the thing is, I've already done this with her for her birthday, where we surprised her at her house, where I took her out for lunch, and then everybody assembled in her house, and then surprise, and she was very happy and overjoyed and over.
हाँ, तो मुझे लगा शायद ऐसा ही कुछ करेगा तू कभी ना कभी eventually.
हाँ, and we also shot videos of that and covered, but I thought कि ऐसे proposal है, so let's make it even more. We can't repeat the same magic trick, can't have the same experience for a different thing. So I thought, okay, let's try and do it a little more differently. So I think only 10-12 days before the trip, 10-12 days, maybe 2-3 weeks before the trip, 3 weeks before the trip, I placed an order with this particular company, and I asked them, okay, immediately before, like 3 days before I depart, I got the ring in my hand, and I showed it to your parents. And we were obviously there at my parents' house also before we left. So सारे parents were in the know as.
बस मुझे ही नहीं पता था.
हाँ, मतलब I thought कि I should not drop this at least on them. So they were all in the know and knew what was happening. Everybody was happy, and only Tanya did not know. However, on the day, for the location and timing and all of that, it just happened in the moment.
Yeah, and I think that was very sweet. मुझे लगा कि ईशान पूरा ऐसे पता नहीं, मतलब I mean, मैंने जब हमेशा सोचा था कि प्रपोजल होगा, I thought कि चलो now he's predictable. He's already surprised me a few times before with different things. तो मुझे पता है कि ऐसे फैमिली को बुलाएगा या तो वीडियोग्राफर तो पक्का बुलाएगा, because he would think कि अरे वीडियोग्राफर कंटेंट क्रिएटर है तो वीडियोस वगैरह इसके लिए शूट कर देते हैं. But to be very very honest, I always thought, जैसे मैंने तेरे को बताया है कि नहीं पता नहीं, but one time we were watching The Office together, and मैंने ऐसे ईशान को बातों में एक बार बताया था कि I think a proposal should be a very sweet, intimate moment. जैसे कि I think one of my favorite, at least pop culture reference for a great proposal in my head would be कि when Pam got proposed to by Jim in The Office, and we were watching that episode together only.
In a petrol pump when it was raining.
हाँ, it was raining, and it was just a very spontaneous, happy moment where the world is moving on, but this moment means something for these two people.
Full disclosure, guys, मुझे बिल्कुल याद नहीं था ये.
नहीं, but later on I was thinking after the proposal happened that yes, it's sort of like something that I always wanted, and it's so cute that Eshan was able to deliver that without even knowing it. And it was very unexpected that he proposed to me that night.
Did not know anything. So I'll tell you what was happening. So in my mind, because up until the proposal part you were completely unaware.
Yeah.
So I was thinking before we left, okay, should I take the ring with me or not? I was not sure whether I wanted to. मैंने बोला चलो ले लेते हैं, just in case snowmobile hunting में we see the northern lights. I was not sure. You were positive. I was not. Like नहीं, शायद नहीं दिखे, but I was like शायद दिख गए तो मुझे फिर करना है, क्योंकि फिर वापस दिखे ना दिखे मुझे क्या पता कि ऐसे सब्जी लेते लेते भी हमें दिख जाएगा. But हाँ, and unfortunately बोलो तो next day we got to see it from our room. So that also could have been a great spot to do it. We could have actually filmed it really well. But no, I did it on the first night that we saw Northern Lights.
But to me that was very sweet actually.
वो तो अभी तेरे पास choice नहीं है. तो हाँ, that's true. तो
but Under the Northern Lights is one of the most magical locations you could have picked. So
let's talk about how magical it was. Both of us were wearing क्या बोलते हैं उसको वो, चलो before that, हाँ, तो स्नोमोबाइल हंटिंग के लिए जाना है, हम ऐसे छोटे ट्रक में ट्रैक्टर जो भी बस में बैठ के गए टू दिस प्लेस एंड वी पुट ऑन आवर गियर. नाउ दिस गियर इज एक्सट्रीमली थिक फॉर यू टू नॉट फील cold when you're riding the snowmobile, which you're doing on your own. So this snowmobile experience, mind you, is amazing. You should do it. It's around 10,000-11,000 rupees per person, but you should do it. And go for the snowmobile hunting and Northern Lights hunting on a snowmobile. But you will freeze your face off and your hands will be fine. Your hands and your butt will be fine because it's on a warmer. मतलब ऐसे warmer होता है snowmobile में. Now so we are full geared up, helmets अंदर और एक हेलमेट के अंदर कवर.
बालकलावा पहना है हेलमेट के अंदर.
हाँ, जो भी बकलावा.
बकलावा नहीं.
हाँ, बकलावा पहना है. ब्यूटीफुल खाने का आइटम भी है, ब्यूटीफुल पहनने का आइटम भी है, ग्रेट क्लोथिंग. So we are sitting. तो Tanya was actually sleeping because she was so tired.
I was cold and tired. एक तो वैसे ही जेट लैग हो रहा था.
हाँ, तो she was. मैं एक्साइटेड हुआ, फिर रहा था कि नहीं, जबकि मुझे बहुत ठंड लगती है, लेकिन मैं एक्साइटेड होके फिर रहा था ताकि मुझे देख के इसमें थोड़ी एक्साइटमेंट आ जाए, क्योंकि ये सो गए तो मैं प्रपोज किसको करूँगा. तो
बट उस टाइम मुझे थोड़ी पता था कि तू प्रपोज करेगा.
नहीं, दैट्स ट्रू. तो ऐसे ग्रीन कुछ हुआ नहीं था, ऐसे हल्का मिल्की दिख रहा था ऊपर. तो फिर मैं तभी गया था जूस लेने, गर्म जूस दे रहे थे हमारे वहाँ के ऑर्गेनाइज़र. तो एक दीदी ने दिखाया मुझे कि मोबाइल में कि वी जस्ट अंडर द नॉर्दर्न लाइट्स, इज जस्ट नॉट विजिबल बट वील सी इट. तो आई लाइक ओके. तो मैं आके आया दौड़ के वापस, और मैंने बोला इनको कि दिखने वाला है, देखो जाग जाओ बेटा. फिर we started goofing around with photos, taking long exposure shots on her iPhone and तभी कुछ दिख नहीं रहा था, बट वो शॉट देखा हमने तो लॉन्ग एक्सपोजर में वी सॉ एवरीथिंग ग्रीन. हाँ,
जमीन
ग्रीन थी. हाँ,
आसमान भी ग्रीन था.
और तभी लड़की में एनर्जी आ गई.
I was like, oh, Northern Lights. देखने को मिलेगी first time.
And then she took the camera and she was seeing videos of the, क्या बोलते उसको, long exposure images and trying to take a time lapse or video of the Northern Lights on her camera, and I was contemplating during this time, and she was running helter skelter, and so I had my time. I had time to think about whatever. And during this period, धीमे Northern Lights got darker and darker. और बीच में वापस चली गई. And then वापस आ गई. तो मैं सोचा कि कर ही देते हैं, अभी क्या बोले हैं अभी इसका भी. तो मैंने बैग में हाथ डाला, इतना बड़ा डब्बा था एक, तो उसने मुझे डब्बा इतना मोटा दिया.
By the way, this whole time I was going helter skelter and also taking video shots, क्योंकि मैं YouTube वीडियो तो बना ही रही थी अपनी. हाँ. तो मैंने एक जगह पे ऐसे कैमरा रख दिया, प्लेस कर दिया, और मैं ईशान को बुला रही, ईशान जल्दी आ, नॉर्दर्न लाइट्स दिख रही है, जल्दी आ, कम नेक्स्ट टू मी. तो fortunately we have a video of the proposal which is very hazy. हम थोड़े blurred हैं, but it's fine. I don't mind it. It's a memory. It's a cute memory.
हाँ, मैंने फ्रेम भी देखी थी, सब अच्छा दिख रहा था. फिर मैंने डिसाइड किया कि हाँ, ये फ्रेम में करेंगे. मैं इनफैक्ट I convinced you to turn the camera because so that the
darker side of the Northern Lights come.
Darker side and emptier side, because दूसरे साइड पे लोग भी आ रहे थे, आवाज़ें भी आ रही थी. तो हमने वो डायरेक्शन लिया जिसमें कोई नहीं था और आवाज़ भी नहीं आ रही थी. साइड में एक है आदमी है. We didn't even realize what was happening. It was pitch dark नहीं, but it was quite dark.
It was pitch dark. Yeah, come on. We were in the middle of the forest. There was nothing there, no light source at all. So we were in the middle of the forest. ऊपर Northern Lights चल रही हैं और मैं बहुत ही एक्साइटमेंट में थी, और मुझे इस टाइम पे पता भी नहीं था कि ये प्रपोज करने वाला है मुझे. और मतलब बस कैमरा सेटअप कर दिया था क्योंकि YouTube वीडियो तो बना ही रही थी मैं. एंड उतने में ही मैंने इसको बुलाया जोर से, ईशान जल्दी आ, ऐसे बुला रही थी मैं इसको.
हाँ, फिर मैंने खोला डब्बा, रखी रिंग ऐसे, और फिर नहीं, डब्बा तो मैं लेके गया था साथ में. रिंग ऐसे मोटे ग्लास में रिंग कहाँ रखूँगा. तो डब्बा ले गया मैं, और ऐसे मैंने थोड़ा इसके पीछे ऐसे छुपा के रखा था ये साइड पे. एंड देन ऊपर मैं देखा, बढ़िया दिख रहा है, सब सही दिख रहा है, और उसमें तभी फिर कर दिया. और जैसे मैंने किया, रोने लग गई. मैंने फिर रिंग पहना दी. ज़्यादा मैंने पूछा नहीं क्योंकि ठंड लग रही थी. मैं पूछने नहीं वाला. मैं कर दूंगा, तो मैंने कर दी।
अभी इतना एफर्ट लेके हम लोग नॉर्दर्न लाइट्स के नीचे आए हैं,
मना थोड़ी कर सकती है, मना करने का चांस ही नहीं दिया।
मुझे नहीं पूछा था तूने, मैंने देखा बाद में प्लेबैक करके
पूछा मैंने वहाँ पे, मैंने पहना दिया, पूछने के बाद भी रुका नहीं मैं कि हाँ बोल ना बोल, क्योंकि शी वाज feeling cold also, she was crying also, she couldn't believe it also कि इधर ही ऐसे ही
नहीं, बट I was more in disbelief कि इसने रिंग कहाँ से ली, कहाँ से लाया ये,
कहाँ से आया
ये मुझे क्या हो रहा है,
मेरा रिंग दिख नहीं रही है। रुक
और रात को अंधेरा इतना था, मुझे रिंग दिख भी नहीं रही है। बट जैसे ही इसने प्रपोज किया मैं इतनी एक्साइटेड हो गई कि मैंने ग्लव्स फेंक दिए अपने सबसे पहले। I was like fuck it, I don't need gloves anymore.
हाँ, and then she was like we need a good photo from here.
और उसके ये बात भी तूने बताई नहीं कि हमने इस पॉइंट तक हेलमेट्स भी
पहन रखी थी, looking like fucking Teletubbies, teddy bears, whatever you want to call us, looking stupid basically, not an ideal proposal frame at all. It is how we saw this, just to sidetrack, we saw this video of her friend or a friend's friend, जिस प्रियांशु की वेडिंग में हम जब गए थे, and we saw this video of this couple in Bangalore who got a very nice proposal done कि लड़की बोट पे आ रही है, बोट पे पोर्च पे
पोडियम सा है जो सजा हुआ है पूरा, वहाँ
पे ऐसे सेरेनेट करने हैं। हाँ, सब ने अच्छे कपड़े पहने हैं, वहाँ पे वायलिन बज रहे हैं, जो भी मतलब एकदम ऐसे लड़की का भी एंगल है, लड़की का भी एंगल है। तो मुझे लगा कि यार आई होप ये ऐसे एक्सपेक्टेशंस ना रखे, क्योंकि इसके प्रपोजल में यही कैमरा पर्सन है, तो इससे किया।
जब मैंने वो प्रपोजल की फोटो ट्वीट की ना, नीचे दो तीन लोगों के कमेंट आए कि आप लोगों ने फोटोग्राफर बुक किया था क्या?
कौन अफोर्ड करेगा इतना महंगा फोटोग्राफर जिसको मैं फिनलैंड लेके जाऊँ फोटो खींचने के लिए, वो भी बोले इसको आता है इतना सारा, क्या क्यों सीखी है 5 साल कर लेगी अपने आप, क्या दिक्कत है।
सही बात
मैंने
है।
तो कुछ किया ही नहीं उसके बाद, फिर मैं बस पोस्ट करने के लिए रेडी था कि जहाँ मुझे फ्रेम सेट करके बता दे वो। सो ऑब्वियसली उसमें फिर हमने हेलमेट निकाले, ये सब
हमने हेलमेट निकाला, बलकलावा निकाल दिया, ग्लव्स फेंक दिए। मेरे को तो उसके बाद कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा था कि कितनी ठंड है। उसके बाद मैं इतनी एनर्जाइज हो गई थी कि गर्मी अंदर से आ रही थी।
हाँ फिर उसमें एक बहुत ही प्यारा सा फोटो आया है जिसमें हमारे फेस एक्चुअली दिख रहे हैं।
हाँ।
रिंग इतनी दिख नहीं रही है बट ठीक है, इट्स फाइन। रिंग के बाद में फोटो बहुत ले ली है।
हाँ, मतलब मैं तो पूरी ट्रिप पे तब से ऐसे रिंग की फोटोज ही ले रही हूँ। हर जगह जाके आई एम जस्ट मेकिंग दैट पोज ऐसे हाथ वाला, अपने खुद की मेमोरी के लिए। आई एम नॉट posting it and showing it to anyone, but just for my own memory.
हाँ, तो that is how the proposal went. Didn't end there. The thing that I did not think about, which is the funny part, is our ride back home. Now I left a very important piece of information before when I started this story. When we were on the snowmobiles headed to the space, which is a jungle area, where जहाँ पे light pollution is minimal, no light pollution at all. So you're supposed to go there to catch the northern lights, and that's a 20 to 30 minute snowmobile ride. And where you're going slowly following a track where everybody is going in one queue. And I didn't realize this. If I propose there, we have to also come back that way in the snow, and where we can't even talk to each other because it's so cold. We were just riding back and I don't know what was happening because I couldn't talk. And 30 minutes later we reached the place where we had started off.
And that is when I finally saw the ring.
That is when you finally saw the ring, and you had also cried your eyes out and your face was frozen.
हाँ, yeah. So it was so cold at that point of time. अभी जहाँ पे हम लोग बैठे हैं ना बर्फ में, उससे भी कहीं ज़्यादा ठंड थी उस टाइम पे. Like our faces were properly freezing. Yeah, so gloves फेंक तो दिए हमने उतार के बीच में, लेकिन उसके बाद जो हाथों की वाट लगी ना, और मुंह की वाट लगी ना, क्योंकि बलकलावा भी उतार दिया था हमने. So वापस आते आते मेरे आंखों में से आंसू निकल रहे थे, और जैसे ही आंसू निकल रहे थे उसी टाइम पे फ्रीज हो जा रहे थे.
हाँ, फिर हम वापस आए. मैं मतलब शी वॉज ऑल्सो स्टिल इन डिसबिलीफ कि ये हो गया है, चलो सही है, देख रही है. मैं रियलाइज़ कर रहा हूँ कि दिस इज़ नॉट द बेस्ट ऑफ सिचुएशंस, बिकॉज अभी हम ऐसे इतने गंदा सा गेयर निकाल रहे हैं, फिर बस में बैठ के वापस जाएंगे रिजॉर्ट.
नहीं यार, तू कुछ भी कहे, मेरे लिए इट वाज बेस्ट बिकॉज इट हैपेंड इन द मिडल ऑफ एन एडवेंचर, नॉट लाइक, ठीक है, मतलब वाइब भी अलग थी मेरे लिए. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे लिए ये परफेक्ट था. इससे अच्छा मेरे लिए कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता था.
You can't recreate this decor anywhere in the world except for the place.
इनफैक्ट तूने प्रपोज करते टाइम तूने कुछ चीज़ें बोली थी मुझे, वो तुझे याद है, मुझे पता है, बट तूने मुझे एक चीज़ जो बहुत अच्छी बोली थी कि under nature's decoration ऐसे करके कुछ बोला
नहीं I said under nature lights या nature का decor ऐसा कुछ मैंने बोला था, which I thought was the most apropos or appropriate way to propose to a person who is an outdoorsy person.
Yeah.
And honestly speaking, I did not want to keep it staged or keep it extremely planned because
फिर
for
मुझे पता
me
चल जाता ना.
हाँ वो देखो पता तो नहीं चलता. Everybody who knows you well knows कि it's very easy to surprise you. So देखो पता तो नहीं चलता.
हाँ मतलब मैं ऐसी हूँ कि मैं ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं देती कि
हाँ नहीं ध्यान देती है, मतलब हो रहा होता है. She is very trusting and होगा कुछ ऐसे टाइप का होता है इसका behavior.
हाँ.
तो मतलब it would have been rather easy to surprise her with planned stuff, but I felt inside कि it may not have been the most appropriate way to propose to a person this way.
हाँ मतलब this will make for a story that I will remember forever.
Yeah, it's because we can only remember. We don't have good photos or videos of it, so we can only remember. That's probably the only.
It's okay. हर चीज़ की फोटो वीडियो मतलब coming from me, it's a shocker.
हाँ.
But I think it's okay. हर चीज़ की फोटो एंड वीडियो होनी ज़रूरी नहीं होती.
Good, very good job. How was your experience of getting proposed?
मतलब I think मैं before the Northern Lights came मैं तो काफ़ी out of energy हो चुकी थी and I was already done for the day. I was like हो गया बस मेरा, मुझे बस कोई बेड दे दो. मैं तो स्नोमोबाइल पे ही सो रही थी. फिर ईशान थोड़ी देर के बाद गरम जूस लेके आया मेरे लिए and he was like सुन Northern Lights आने वाली हैं तो तू उठ जा. तो मैं जैसे उसने बोला आने वाली है, मैं बोला सच में आने वाली है, बट ठंड बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही है यार, मेरे से तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ पे. बट उसके बाद थोड़ी देर के बाद आई थिंक ऑटोमेटिकली एनर्जी आ गई व्हेन यू सी समथिंग सो ब्यूटीफुल एंड मैजिकल. तो मतलब जैसे आई सेड कि आई तो वाज रनिंग अराउंड हियर एंड देयर एंड आई वाज जस्ट वेरी एक्साइटेड. मुझे तो उसके बाद ऐसा लग रहा था कि अब मेरी ज़िंदगी बन चुकी है, लाइक लाइफ मेड. आई हैव सीन नॉर्दर्न लाइट्स फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम एवर इन माई लाइफ एंड इवन इफ दिस इज़ द लास्ट टाइम आई विल स्टिल बी हैप्पी क्योंकि वी गॉट टू सी इट इन सच अ गुड सेटिंग इन द मिडल ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट. तो मतलब मैं तो वीडियोज़ ले रही थी, पागल हो रही थी, बस ऐसे ही इधर उधर घूम रही थी, ऐसे फुदक रही थी टाइप्स. एंड उसके बाद फिर जैसे ही ईशान आया और उसने मैं खड़ी थी, उसने मुझे मोड़ा ऐसे टैप करके एंड जैसे ही मैं मुड़ी आई सॉ हिम बेंट ऑन हिज नी एंड विद द रिंग. I was like, what? Like first I was laughing for some time. I was like, what? Are you serious? Oh my goodness. तो वो हुआ और उसके बाद फिर ऐसे थोड़ा सा रोना धोना हो गया obviously because मैं काफ़ी इमोशनल हो गई. I wasn't expecting it. Honestly, I think it came as a big surprise to me that you were proposing to me. Like I said, I knew कभी ना कभी होगा. एंड वो तो मतलब तुझे भी पता था, मुझे भी पता था कि हाँ होगा कभी ना कभी ये.
सबको पता था, घर वालों को भी पता था. अब तो सबसे बातें करके आया था मैं.
हाँ तो मतलब बट नहीं, मुझे लगा था कि बाद में होगा, लाइक मे बी 3 months 2 months लेटर. इसलिए इट केम एज अ सरप्राइज टू मी कि एकदम से लाइक यू सॉ द अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड तूने एकदम से डिसीजन ले लिया,
अभी का अभी
कर दिया. हाँ तो बस वही है कि वो दैट केम एज अ सरप्राइज टू मी. और उसके बाद तो ऑब्वियसली आई वाज वेरी इमोशनल. एंड नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग आफ्टर आई सॉ द, बाय द वे आई रियली लाइक द रिंग, आई मस्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट यू.
हाँ,
why are you laughing?
हाँ, because I had shown her, so I went to her best friend to get a brief of the ring that she would like, and then I was showing you also designs. You also know that मैं ऐसे designs दिखा रहा था देखो कि मतलब ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मतलब she'd be surprised कि oh I didn't even know you're going to propose. So she knew that eventually it is going to happen. So I thought I'll get an appropriate ring that she would enjoy wearing. I even took a ring to get the ring size properly done.
Yeah.
मैंने बोला थोड़ा हेल्प तो कर ही सकती है अपने प्रपोजल में ये.
हाँ बट ये तो ऐसी मुझे बहुत बार दिखा चुका है ऐसे रिंग के डिजाइन्स, तो ऐसा कि चलते फिरते ओए ये कैसी लग रही है तुझे, ओए
लाइक गुड 1 year. ऐसा नहीं है कि बस कुछ महीने.
हाँ मतलब बार काट रहा है मेरा वैसे रिंग के डिजाइन दिखा के.
ऐसे रिंग ही नहीं मिल रही थी जैसी जिसको मैं पसंद करता. When we have vlogged in on a very simple design.
No, I absolutely love it.
You have no choice only for the proposal, for the ring. Nothing you have a choice for. So what correct. She's happy, guys. That's all I wanted. Mission accomplished.
No, but I think it's the prettiest ring I've ever owned.
You've not owned many.
But
Sorry,
I
guys.
really like it. It's my first ever diamond ring.
Yeah.
And मुझे बहुत सुंदर लगी, and I think it's very simple, very nice, and just the kind of ring that I don't mind wearing every day. I did not want a very झटाक design जो से बहुत बड़ा सा हो, जो बहुत flashy हो.
Yeah, I thought so, because as a traveler it's also unsafe to carry.
It's
a
unsafe,
झटाक ring.
yeah. Plus it's not even my personal style. मतलब मुझे ऐसे झटाक चीज़ें पसंद भी नहीं आती. My personal style is something which is minimal and simple and just pretty.
Pretty.
So you understood the assignment. Congrats.
I understood the assignment, and the next day was spent telling everybody, friends and family,
Yeah.
that engaged.
हमने actually Instagram पे announcement थोड़ी सी देर से की काफी
हाँ.
impact. Just because
काफी देर से की.
we thought that let's just keep it between us for some time.
हाँ.
Yeah, like it's a nice intimate moment, so let's keep it that way for some time at least.
And then I think 2-3 weeks later we announced. Although a lot of some people had DM'd you and me also. Okay, oh, we see rings in this photo on her story. Have you proposed? And this broadcast announcement also, like, oh, are you engaged or getting married? Are you announcing that? So yeah, there were little murmurs. But one more thing that I have to conclude is I asked her not to get me a ring. So she's given me a ring that she's got from Peru, which is a very simple... Oman. And
Silver simple सी ring है. वो तो मैंने अपने लिए ली थी. Fortunately इसको fit हो गई.
Because I generally don't want a ring. It's just a tension on my head that I have to take care of this ring. This ring is fine. Nobody's going to steal it from me.
दिखा तो दे ring अगर तू बार-बार दिखा रहा है तो.
I'm not opening
my
gloves right now. We are trying to recreate the proposal moment right now because it's so cold.
It's cool, no, that we're doing the proposal story.
Yes.
In the cold.
In the cold.
अगर जो भी लोग हमें audio streaming platform से सुन रहे होंगे, I hope they can hear us shiver.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible. By the way, we are available on all streaming platforms in case you did not know already. So you can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, anything. Acha, by the way, I wanted to answer this question also. Somebody asked in our previous podcast that why are you using these heavy mics instead of carrying lapel mics? And the answer for that is we want really good quality and also be able to shoot anywhere. जैसे अभी आपको इस माइक में कुछ भी बाहर की साउंड नहीं आएगी. पीछे से भी प्लेन उड़ के जा रहा है, बट आई एम श्योर आपको उसकी आवाज़ नहीं आएगी.
I hope so.
नहीं आएगी.
पोपट.
इस माइक में किसी चीज़ की आवाज़ नहीं आती, and that's the good thing, except for people who are talking directly in it. So even if we shoot in a really busy area someday, कोई ऐसे city square में बैठ के and all, we'll still be able to pull off this podcast, and that's why.
Yeah, if you know a lightweight mic which can do all of these things really well, you can let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to look at it. No problems. But at the moment, these mics work.
Yeah, and also, of course, we wanted to invest in great quality.
Yeah, great quality, because मतलब थोड़ा ऐसे experience लोगों का देखने के लिए और सुनने में अच्छा होना चाहिए.
Yes.
With that, we come to the end of the episode number 3. Episode number 4 will be about all the expenses till now that we have made. We'll try to put together a concise, detailed, as much as possible, वैसे तो detailed list of expenses that we have to incur on this trip that we are on. Finland का तो itinerary का reel has gone live on her Instagram handle.
And a lot of experiences have already been covered by Eshan on his Instagram, so you can also follow us on our respective social media channels. Okay? Alright guys. We will see you next time in episode number 4. But I'm really digging this outdoor experience also, although I'm freezing, but I'm liking it.
Yeah. I am to...
Done.
Done.
My pair freeze. Okay guys. Bye.
Bye.